The graveyard shift at a 911 dispatch center relies on a predictable, if grim, rhythm. From 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., operators in Phoenix process a steady stream of noise complaints, domestic disputes, and drunk drivers. It is a rigid environment where protocol acts as a shield against the isolation of the night. But inside the dispatch logs for an operator named Lena, a specific anomaly began to emerge. A single call arriving at exactly 3:12 a.m., appearing as an isolated data point that broke the established volume of the shift. This call arrived with no caller ID and no registered number. In the system, it appeared as a blank signal registry. When Lena answered, there was no immediate voice, only the sound of slow, rhythmic breathing held close to the microphone. Lena followed standard procedure, asking for the emergency and the caller's location. The response was a calm male voice, stating he was about to do something bad. When she pressed for a location, the caller replied, "You already know where I am," and disconnected. On the second night, the event repeated with surgical precision. The 3:12 a.m. timestamp, the lack of metadata, and the same opening sentence. This time, Lena heard a mechanical ticking in the background of the call. The man then asked a question that moved the interaction beyond a standard prank. "You really don't remember me?" A technical glitch might repeat a timestamp or mask a number, but it doesn't engage in a dialogue. The logs show a deliberate sequence, an escalating pattern designed to bridge the gap between a random emergency and a personal threat. By the third night, the caller's tone turned aggressive. He claimed that he was running out of time, while the ticking sound grew louder over the line. Simultaneously, the hardware at Lena's workstation began to fail, her clock frozen at 3:12. Other emergency lines started dropping, isolating her from the floor. As the ticking sound from that set began to match the pulse of the room, Lena abandoned her live queue, bypassing the standard interface to run a deep search into archived records, looking for a matching voice profile. Filtering historical dispatch data by audio signatures isolated a single 2-year-old file. The archive reveals a pattern of calls, warning of a violent act, logged as pranks. After a 3-hour gap, the record ends with a murdered woman. The file ends with the identification of the operator handling those calls. The name on the log, the person who dismissed the warnings, was Lena. The 3:12 a.m. signal is a direct mirroring of that historical failure. 2 years after a murder was allowed to happen, the timeline of those exact ignored calls is resurfacing, forcing the operator to relive the sequence that led to the event. On the fourth night, Lena didn't wait for the ring. She answered the line at 3:12 and admitted that she finally remembered the caller. The ticking sound now filled the station. Behind her, the analog wall clock had physically stopped. The second hand was frozen at the 3:12 mark. As the caller spoke his final judgment, a second line appeared on Lena's screen. It shared the same unknown label and the same 3:12 a.m. timestamp, a dual connection that the system shouldn't be able to support. Lena picked up the second line and heard a recording of herself from 2 years ago. She heard her own voice laughing and telling the caller to stop wasting time, followed by the victim's screams. Both lines went dead simultaneously. The following morning, Lena was gone. There was no resignation letter or notice given. Her station was found empty. Despite her disappearance, the dispatch servers show that the 3:12 a.m. call continues to arrive every night. It remains in the system, untraceable and persistent, waiting for an operator to pick up the headset. Emergency networks are built to process crises and move on to the next. But the logs in Phoenix suggest that some events remain in the circuitry. They exist as a permanent loop, ensuring that certain failures stay active long after the line is supposed to be disconnected.